Welcome to this demo where we will look at how NexeraID can be used to verify the identities of our users in a privacy-preserving manner using zero-knowledge proofs that are verified directly on-chain. The first step consists in connecting NexeraID SSID KYC provider as the main identity provider for our application. It is essential that we use a sovereign identity-based verification tool like the one provided by NexeraID, because the users should be able to own their identities, build zero-knowledge proofs, and share proofs with the apps instead of their full identity. The next step consists in creating a verification scenario using the rules engine. We will look into creating a zero-knowledge proof scenario, and specifically a zero-knowledge proof scenario that can be deployed on-chain. This type of scenario has the capacity of allowing users to share a proof with the application instead of the actual data. Creating a zero-knowledge proof scenario is very similar to creating a VC-based scenario. We will be able to define what verifiable credential we want the users to use to create the proof. We'll look at data that is extracted from the identity document of the user. We'll look specifically at his citizenship, and we will require for him to not be a citizen of the United States. This is a minimum scenario that is sufficient for our demo application. What we will want to do next is to deploy this verification scenario on-chain and integrate it with our own smart contracts. And to do that, we will click Deploy Scenario. What will happen when you click deploy is that NexeraID will deploy a smart contract for the zero-knowledge proof verifier that we just defined. And in addition, it will deploy a second contract that we call the NexeraID entry point verifier, which connects to the zero-knowledge proof verifier that we just defined. Having this set up with two different contracts is quite practical, because you will integrate your own smart contracts with the verifier, which will always stay as your fixed reference contract on the NexeraID side. And behind the scenes from the NexeraID dashboard, you will be able to upgrade your zero-knowledge proof verifiers, add new ones, remove old ones, and connect them to the entry point contract, and they will become active in the scope of your own smart contracts without you needing to redeploy and to connect to another entry point. Let's wait for all the contracts to be deployed, and you can see that at this point the scenario was added to the entry point contract, and once everything is deployed, you will get the snippet of Solidity code that would allow you to connect the NexeraID entry point verifier with your own contracts, and you also get the reference to the contract that you can verify in a block explorer. The next step will consist in configuring the Nexera identity widget to work with the scenario that I just created and allow the users to build the right zero-knowledge proofs. The first step of the configuration of the Nexera identity widget is, as usual, the branding step. I'll skip this. And then the second step, I will be switching to the zero-knowledge proof section and connect the scenario that I just created. This will enable the zero-knowledge proof request to be sent to the user and allow them to build the actual zero-knowledge proof that is required for this particular application. I will skip the data access part, as no data will be shared. I'll be able to review the identity verification flows the users will go through before getting verifiable credentials. This data will not be shared with my application. This will just be owned at the end by the users and will be used to build zero-knowledge proofs. As the last step, I am able to test the flow directly in the app, but generally I'll be looking at the docs to integrate the NexeraID SDK in my front-end application and the Nexera entry point with my smart contract. We have connected the identity verification process that we have just configured with a fork of the Aave protocol so we can demonstrate how it looks like from an end user perspective. As an end user, I'm already connected with my MetaMask wallet to this decentralized application. And I see that in order to supply assets, I need to authenticate. I will click on authenticate, and I'm asked to sign using my wallet. I then see that I am not approved by this application to supply assets. And in order to do that, I will need to verify my identity. Because I have already used NexeraID and I already have a KYC report, the only thing I need to do in this case is to click the build and share on-chain ZK proof option. Then I'll need to click continue. The application will start building proofs for each of the zero-knowledge proof scenarios that are connected to the entry point verifier used by this application. I'll need to sign a transaction in order to submit those zero-knowledge proofs on-chain. If all the zero-knowledge proofs are successfully validated on-chain, I will be able to interact with the application and supply tokens like it is the case in this demo. Once your application goes live, you can use the NexeraID dashboard to gain insights into the identity verification process. In the Nexera Identity Dashboard, you will be able to find metrics such as the total number of customers who tried to interact with your application, the number of customers who have been onboarded, the number of customers who have been blocked, as well as the ratio of the risk score of your various users as provided by NexeraID based on your scenarios. In the customers table, you will be able to find any customers by their wallet address or by their unique identifier and be able to also filter them based on their risk level, and then look a bit more in detail at each of the users you have onboarded. Of course, we can confirm that no data was collected in this mode in NexeraID since the users have been verified through the use of zero-knowledge proofs. No KYC data was shared with your application. It was just a proof was shared, and since in the case of this user, the proof was correct, the user has automatically been defined as being active and having a low risk score. You will see that in the customer profile, again, we don't have other data than the user's wallet, which if you connect the screening tool, you will still be able to assess, and no other information was defined. If in the future you notice anything suspicious about the user, you will be able to change manually his status and put him on a block list if that is the case. With this, we conclude the NexeraID on-chain verification process using zero-knowledge proofs. If you have questions, please reach out to us at nexera.id.